I cannot say that I saw this coming. Look like Abba made a follow-up video to our debate the other day when we were debating Kirk issues, and he's titled this video, "This Debate Red Pilled Me," but it's the thumbnail, he got a picture of me and him on it. You know what I mean? And Abba ain't no stranger to doing the extra, so I'm wondering what the angle is, bro, because I ain't take anything negative from that experience. I thought it was a pretty cordial, productive conversation. You know what I mean? So yeah, this video was 31 minutes long, man. But let's get it.
Do you agree that there's a lot of parents who neglect those children?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that those kids should suffer because they have bad parents?
No.
Okay,
I don't think they should, but bad shit happens.
On to the next point.
And there's so many people that die from car accidents, bro. You get shit. It's bad. Up shit happens. Like, we can't save everybody. We can't save everybody, bro. Like, it is.
But just because we can't save everybody doesn't mean we don't try.
I'm advocating for kids to take advantage of the surplus of food available to them in different ways that it is.
Yeah.
It's not on somebody to do it, bro. Like, you're shitty parents. I get it, dog. This life. Life is fucking hard, dog. And some children are born in up circumstances, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah, but I had a debate with Stevie Knight from Night Talk. He reached out to me to have a discussion after he covered our Kirk video a while back. There's like two parts that really threw me off a lot.
There should be free school lunch for all children.
No.
Why?
Of course not. Because parents should feed their kids, not the government.
What if they can't?
Let's go get a job.
A child?
The parents should go get the job. You are a dumb dude. Don't give me this stuff. First of all, this is really.
I want children to eat.
Of course I do. Show me a single child in America going hungry. Doesn't exist. It does not exist. We have a child obesity problem.
So I'm like, if you just Google it, what he said is a blatant lie. But the smugness with which he said that.
Says in the U.S., around 13 to 14 million children experienced food insecurity in recent years, with 1 in 5 children lacking consistent access to enough food. This condition, known as food insecurity, means families don't have reliable access to enough food. The number has seen a significant increase, with 2022 data showing a rise in child food insecurity, reversing previous declines. But where in that does it say kids are starving? We can't be switching words out now, man. Food insecurity is entirely different than starving. That was the question posed in that debate with Kirk. And even with addressing this topic, I haven't seen where he's going with it, bro, but this video was one of the videos Alba cherry picked to manufacture a narrative about Kirk trying to highlight him as disgusting. So we're moving the goalposts and discussing a different topic. Hopefully he doesn't take, I'm gonna wait before I get ahead of what's going on here, man, because he may address it. But yeah, it says food insecurity, bro. It doesn't say people starving. Oh, let me ask ChatGPT and see how many people are actually starving in America, because I don't even need to look up the stat. I know. I'm 99.9% sure that we do not have a starvation problem in America. Is there a child? You know what? I ain't gonna leave it open like that. How many children are starving? I'm trying to be objective about this. I don't want to have a leading question into, my bias. How many children are suffering from starving in America? So short answer, about 13 to 14 million children in the U.S. live in food insecure households in 2023. What the fuck does food insecure mean? A bit more detail on what those words mean. Most official counts use the term food insecure, not the clinical word starving. Food insecurity means a household sometimes lacked enough money or resources or other resources for adequate food. It ranges from worrying about running out of food to skipping meals. According to USDA, ERS, and major anti-hunger groups, nearly 14 million children live in a food insecure household in 2023. That represented about 1 child in 5 experiencing some level of food insecurity during the year. Local conditions vary a lot. Some countries and communities have much higher child food insecurity rates. Important distinction: starving describes severe malnutrition and is relatively rare in the U.S. The larger measurable problem is food insecurity. People missing meals, cutting portion sizes, or not having reliable access to nutritious food. Surveys show many parents skip or reduce their own meals to feed children, so child hunger is a serious public health and developmental issue, even if full clinical starvation is uncommon. I mean, so we're talking about 2 different things, but for the sake of the argument, I guess I'll give him this food insecure point he's trying to make, man, but that wasn't the question that was posed to Kirk. Like, we don't have a starvation problem. You know what I mean? Skipping meals, not getting, the nutritious meals, bodies require, it's another conversation. But at the same time, we talking about schools providing the foods. And I don't know how familiar y'all are with the actual food that these public schools give children at the cafeteria, bro. It ain't the highest of quality, right? And that's a whole different conversation, bro. But anyway, I want to continue before I start nitpicking this shit like crazy.
What he said is a blatant lie. But the smugness with which he said that stuff, he's like, well, the parents should pay. Well, we all know there's bad parents out there. We all know there's like parents who neglect their kids, parents who got on drugs, whatever it could be. And Stevie was like aggressively defending this stance. Go get food stamps. You can get food at churches. There's no reason to starve. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there's no reason to starve in America. It's like 1% of households. What I say, starve. This is food insecurity. Starving and food insecurity are entirely 2 different things. You saw the stat. It says starvation is extremely uncommon, extremely rare in America, but they came up with a new definition or a new problem labeled food insecurity, which means you may not have adequate food available. You may skip meals. You're still eating. You're not starving. That's a different problem, man. So we're moving the goalpost. I wish we could have gotten this conversation during the debate and not trying to do this, after the fact shit, man. But yeah, this is cap. All right, this is cap.
Like technically a hunger issue, bro, but people are not starving to death in America, bro. Motherfuckers are fat as hell.
But I remember just throwing me off because I'm like, what possesses an adult to look like a 7-year-old? And like I said, there's 14 million kids suffer from food scarcity. That means they don't know where they're gonna get their next meal. I went to school with niggas like that. Y'all didn't go to school with nobody who just sometimes they would show up and they didn't have a lunch, and the teacher would sometimes have to fill in if they would. But I remember some lunches.
I gotta say this again, bro. You clearly saw me state that there is no starvation problem in America. Children are not emaciated. When I'm talking about this, I'm thinking of the likes of like famine. You know what I mean? Skinny extremities, popped out bellies, like really starving. People in America do not know what starving feels like. We don't suffer from that. Anyway.
The kids didn't get shit. They used to have to eat out of other kids' boxes. And, people are like, oh, well, what's wrong with skipping a meal? When you're in development, it's bad. It stunts their growth. Their academic scores are lower on average as well.
It is hard to believe, but a government report out tonight says more than 17 million American children don't know where their next meal is coming from. Many count on school food programs, but what happens now that school is out?
And then afterwards, Stevie's like, well,
if homeless are hungry, they can go get some fucking food, dog. Food stamps, bro.
The homeless don't go hungry, bro. They can go get a meal if they want to get a meal.
You're comparing children to homeless. Have you not been a child before? Do you think kids know where to? Yeah, but the teacher
call parties that do this for a living to find children the resources that they need. Like teachers do this all the time. They'll see a child that may be neglected and they'll make the calls or alert people to, intervene.
You want to call child services? You want to put them in foster care?
It may be better than having the shooty ass parents.
Have you looked into foster care, City? Have you Googled foster care?
Yeah, but you're describing these parents as ain't shit, bro. Like it is bad shit happens.
You want the teacher to wait till the kid's like emaciated and clearly skinned? You know what I mean? It's
That's
crazy.
what I'm saying. I was like, okay, this.
How am I saying we're waiting for the kids to be emaciated? Teachers are aware of, well, good teachers are aware of their students' conditions, man, and if they notice something off, you know what I mean, maybe they may notice a child looking extra hungry. It's the same thing as like if they notice, a child that may be getting abused at the home. They're gonna make calls necessary to rectify the situation. They see a child that may look like they're hungry, you know what I mean? They're eating super aggressive at the cafeteria, or maybe they're, going through other people's food or whatnot. Like, teachers are able to observe. You know what I mean? But like, we're being nitpicky at the end of the day because, the beginning of this conversation, we were comparing, and I'm sure he's going to leave that part out. We were comparing, maybe I brought it up. Oh, he brought it up. He said, how was Kirk the same person that is, pro-life and, anti-abortion, so inconsiderate of the children that are, suffering from, well, I don't know if it was food insecurity or food uncertainty, whatever label they created for that, right? And, I posed the question. I said, well, what do you think's worse? Abortion, the amount of abortions in America, or the kids starving? I'll provide that clip so y'all can see when I pose that question. I haven't even looked up the stats. Just know, literally to the sense of starvation. Man, you saw ChatGPT said starving is almost non-existent in America, bro.
Do you guys even Google this stuff? Do you guys even look into it? But you speak confidently against this stuff that's hurting hundreds and thousands of kids. And I'm like, I don't get it.
I'll ask you a question. Which one is higher, the amount of abortions in America or the amount of starving children in America?
The amount of starving kids in America.
Oh, that's cap.
That's cap? Did you Google it?
I don't need to Google it, but
you don't need facts. But you know what? Facts don't care about how you feel about it. I need you to Google it.
Okay, I'll Google it. Somebody Google it in the chat, bro. But if we're pushing the goalposts and saying children that are not getting their meals or don't know where their next meal is coming from, that's another conversation to be had. I clearly kept repeating starving, right? Americans don't know what starving is. We don't know what starving is, man. But, I see what he's doing here. He's playing semantics and moving the goalposts with this conversation, bro.
Be right just to be right. What are we doing? Is that what you think the kid is gonna go out? Oh yeah, you know what? My lunch break. Let me go to this food bank real quick. Or hop in my car and go. Oh no. Why am I even trying to say this to someone? It's like you don't know teachers. You don't know what teachers do. You haven't never been to school. It's okay to be wrong and say like, you know what? Hey, you're right.
And then afterwards, it kept getting colder and colder. He's like, all these EBT stamps, you get food stamps. I'm like, you want a 10-year-old to get food stamps? Like, y'all know. And then it kept going. And at one point, he just said, well, listen, man, it is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the world's not perfect, dog. It's not utopia, bro. So it's like, I get, and then I'm a capitalist, dog. I'm not in support of the government coming out taking care of everything. I know it's a problem. I never said what I want to do about it. I could care less. So like, it is what it is, dog. This life is fucking hard, dog. And some children are born in fucked up circumstances, bro. It is what it is.
But to kids not having access to food, shit happens. And I remember why, thinking, like now with hindsight, I remember why this moment really stuck out to me. It's like, if you talk like that about kids not having access to food, is it any wonder why people think you guys are monsters? I don't agree with it. I think it's an abhorrent view to hold. But this is the extremism that leads to somebody like Charlie Kirk getting shot.
Bro, here we go, bro. He taking me out of context again. See, I ain't shit. He ain't shit, bro. I thought he was shit, but he ain't shit. You know what I mean? Because this whole conversation was about Kirk and how he demonizes Kirk, right? When he posed the question to me, I said I wouldn't be against the government if that passed, right? It is what it is. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be against it, but I'm not going to demonize Kirk for having this stance, and I understand Kirk's perspective, bro, but he just running with the, I guess, the negative shit that, I don't know, this must have got to him. You know what I mean? Because it ain't like I'm some big-ass YouTuber or some big-ass personality on YouTube that's going to get him views. Like, this really must have struck him the wrong way, so he must have only heard what he wanted to hear. You know what I mean? Because I got to pull that snippet up, too. I said, I wouldn't be against the government if they budgeted that for it, right? But I'm not going to demonize Kirk for his stance because I understand it.
We pay so much in tax dollars, and most of it goes to the military to do funding wars overseas. I don't think it's so crazy to say, hey, man, take 1% of that budget and make sure these kids don't go hungry. Take another 1% of that budget and take care of veterans. But,
Yeah.
you know, like, maybe
But
that's wrong. I just think it's crazy.
I wouldn't disagree with you with that, but I don't disagree with Kirk either. I mean, I don't think he should be painted as a demon for having that viewpoint.
I mean, I think it's pretty demonic to not want kids to have meals personally.
He's not. He never said he didn't want kids to have meals. Is that the only conversation you see discussing that topic?
When he was suggested a food program to make sure that kids who can't get access to good food or decent food or have malnutrition get food, he said, "No, that's fucking stupid."
Can you answer my question though? Was that the only video did you let that video play and see what else he said in regards to that discussion?
Yeah, I played it.
And what did he say?
He said that he thinks that the parents should take care of it.
No, he said, pull it up right now.
We have churches, we have food shelters, we have billions, and it does not exist. We have a child obesity problem, not a child starvation problem in this country. That 50% of our kids are obese or overweight. There's not a single kid in America that has died of starvation in the last 10 years. Show me that kid. Show me that. This is a propaganda thing from the Democrat Party. Our kids are so overweight they have type 2 diabetes by the age of 8. So the number one problem for kids right now is that they're not moving enough and they're eating too much, not that there's child starvation. Instead, let's get back to a time where we say, hey, parents feed your kids, churches feed your kids, communities feed your kids, not big daddy government coming in and doing what the family should do. With that, I say thank you guys so much and have a great day.
And I'm going to reiterate, there's government programs that literally focus on this, feeding the hungry. Right. And I don't know what is available for children or whatnot, man. But even at this point, right, we're semantics, like moving the goalposts. I was talking about children starving. All right. That's what I said. Children starving. But anyway, let's continue.
This kind of like bad faith, almost like mean spirited. It's like, I don't understand what's Christian about that either. That's not your Christian, but Charlie is like, we have kids that are suffering. You guys are like super anti-abortion, pro-life. You guys want to preserve. Then these kids come out and there's like this smug attitude of like,
I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life. But if you're hungry, man, shit happens.
And if we're being honest, the comparison between abortions and food insecurity, it's a stupid argument, dog, because regardless of these children's circumstances, they still have the ability to live. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Why are we comparing killed babies to babies that are alive? Nobody in America is dying from starvation. We ain't about to do this, bro. We could have talked about all this shit in the fucking conversation, bro. So I don't know if he slept on it, something bothered his ass, bro, but this shit is...
Do you agree that there's a lot of...
This shit is whack, bro, because like you said, he's taking me out of context. You know, what he did with Kirk. I'm not even trying to have bad blood with this fool. Not even that fucking serious, bro. But like this shit don't come across as genuine. So what I'm gonna do is pull up our conversation, bro, and I'll just let it speak for itself.
You said it was different in your video because Charlie Kirk died on camera and nobody was supposed to see that. Remember that you saying that?
Yeah.
Right. To me, I understand that the fact that he died on camera makes it much more graphic, much more in your face. But at the end of the day, murder is murder. Dying is dying.
But it's the effect that it has on society. It's not the same. In a vacuum, it's the same. But if people were able to see that video until the end of time now, right? They're able to see that man go out the way that he did, and knowing up until this, I can't compare someone else that had the amount of influence Kirk had. You know what I mean? If he hadn't been murdered in front of everyone at once, your analogy, your comparison will be fair, man. But you can't minimize that.
If Kirk's not killed on camera, is this situation more or less tragic?
It's less tragic.
So dying on camera makes a murder worse?
No, not the murder worse, but the effect that has on the people is worse because everybody can see it.
Sure,
It's
I get
different than
that.
watching a news report and you hear about somebody that had something happen to them that was grotesque, as opposed to actually seeing it, because this people are going through trauma with this right now. You know what I mean?
Right,
They're gonna
right.
have this burnt. Little kids saw this. It's nowhere near the same as anybody else.
That's the effect that it has on you as an individual. But yeah, the tragedy is the same. The
I
tragedy
disagree with
remains.
you on that. I
Okay,
disagree
well,
with you
yeah,
on
we're
that.
definitely gonna disagree.
Yeah.
If my father dies on camera or doesn't die on camera, at the end of the day, he died. Somebody took my person away from
So
me.
you don't think the fact that everybody can see your father die and have that accessible 24/7 on social media is not going to make the situation any different than having him die?
No, it makes it different. It makes it different. But from a moral standpoint, it's the exact same. There's no difference in morality.
Well,
It's just
morality is a different conversation. I'm just talking about tragedy. I'm talking about the effects it's having on society.
Yeah, but if I'm talking about other murders, if I'm talking about other murders, I'm talking about the moral aspect of it. I don't care whether it happens in front of 100 people, 10 people, a school. It doesn't really matter to me. Murder is murder. All political violence to me that happens for political reasons are equally bad, whether they happen. That's how I feel about it. You might disagree with that.
And I'd imagine a lot are going to disagree with that perspective as well, man. The fact that you can see it, you can hear about somebody that died by the guillotine, but then actually seeing it is going to be totally different. And with kids, college campus, in front of his babies, in front of his wife, the whole world see that, bro, is entirely different.
It's different in the impact that it has on the viewer.
Yeah, but that's my whole point. That's my whole point, and that's why it's more tragic.
But that doesn't mean that we can't contextualize it with those other murders. You say it's not comparable, but I disagree. They died for the same reason.
If you had related that way, trying to bring up the similarities and how you conveyed it just now, it would make more sense. But that's not at all how you conveyed it in the video. It came from, a leftist bias type of perspective from my end, that you were trying to minimize it by bringing up other similarities. You didn't bring anything up about it being moral or same morally. You were just saying, to summarize it, Kirk died, everybody else died, and this happens with political violence. That's pretty much what you said.
Because what I'm getting at is not how he died, or like in front of who that he died. What I'm focused on is why was he killed. I don't personally care that he was killed on a live stream or in a pre-recorded video.
Do you think you're the anomaly with that perspective?
No.
You think that most people don't care that he died online?
I think that's the reason why it went viral for sure, but that's not why they care. You don't care about this topic because
what I'm asking you is, you say you don't care that he died on live stream. And I'm asking you, do you think most people don't care that he died on live stream?
No. Most people are focused on the fact that he was killed for political reasons. That's what people care about. No one's outraged by this whole thing because it happened on camera.
I'm not saying that they're outraged. I'm just saying that adds more nuance. It makes it worse because of that.
But that's in the background. That's not that important. What's really important is that he was killed for political reasons. That's the focus. That's not just a little bit. That's 99% of the focus. None of the coverage that we've been seeing lately is because, like, can you believe that people die on camera? Nobody's talking about.
But that's not my argument.
Come
on, bro. That's not my argument, dog. I'm not saying that it's only important because it happened on camera. I'm saying it's worse than everything else that's happened thus far because it happened the way that it did.
Okay, yeah, I think we'll agree to disagree. I don't think someone dying on camera makes it worse. I think a tragedy, death is death, murder is murder. If you are murdered by somebody on camera in front of a body, so you don't think
So I played the whole thing. You didn't take nothing out of context, bro. So you tell me what's worse, what just described, or the fact that someone, I don't even know what word to describe that as, demented enough. Is that the correct word? Or desensitized enough, or I don't know what it is, bro. But for someone to say that this assassination happening publicly for the entire world to see does not make this incident more tragic, and it's no different than any other murder, is asinine. That's problematic. Of course, it's bad because he died from political violence, but it's much worse that the entire world saw this man get clipped the way that he did. It was fucking tragic. People are not meant to see that. Murder is murder is absolutely not the case. The severity of the actions, the grotesqueness of the actions, and on top of the fact, people were able to see it. Children were able to see it. Students were able to see it. Mothers and fathers were able to see it. It absolutely makes the
situation worse. That's much more severe of a societal issue that we're struggling with as a whole, because we've been desensitized to things to shit on what happened to Charlie Kirk the way that he did and say it's no different than anything else, and him being assassinated publicly like that doesn't make anything worse, bro. I pose a question to y'all, man. Charlie Kirk dying the way that he did, being assassinated the way he did, being shot down the way that he did, does that make his situation worse? Does that impact society more? Are people traumatized more? Are people going to have bad dreams more? Are those images going to be burnt in the back of people's minds more? It's entirely different from, back in the day, a death row inmate dying from the death penalty from the chair, and you read about it, but then to actually see it, come on, man. Come on, man. It's absolutely different reading the amount of abortions that take place in America, but to actually see an abortion take place, the visual provided, bro, it makes the game entirely different, dog. Makes the game entirely different, bro, because we're humans. We're not meant to see that shit, and we can empathize much more when we have the action take place in front of us. So to shit on that and say it's equal to just any murder, absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. Honestly, it made me think about, what things Abba has experienced, personally to address it that way. I mean, like, you have to be desensitized. You have to have dehumanized people to a certain point to say, nah, it ain't no different than me reading a headline saying somebody got shot. Right? Nah, bro. It's entirely different. But yeah, this was whack. This was whack. All right, got some more time. I'm gonna try to get through the rest of this. All right.
And I remember hearing that, and then I asked that about him, and he's like, "Yeah, I feel like the right is a bit more logical and things like that." You said the left is more emotional, so I feel like you think the right is more logical.
Yeah, I'd agree with that take.
Okay. And as we discussed the whole topic of good versus evil, there's a portion of it that's really interesting.
The cancer needs to be cut out, bro. Ain't no talking to them. And it needs to be, get these motherfuckers out of here. It is war because ain't no talking to them. Ain't nothing you say to them. They need to be deterred. They need to be controlled. They need to be exiled, decapitated, whatever your cup of tea is, bro.
That's what he said in the original. Yeah. Now, I'm going to be super good faith and think he was being hyperbolic and emotional at the time, and he didn't mean to say that we shouldn't take off the heads of people who said this stuff. But I'm going to just assume that. I'm going to be very good faith thinking he was just being spur of the moment. Let's listen.
I told him what I meant. I said I was just saying things to make everyone that felt what I was saying feel heard. But whatever, bro. Whatever. This is some sensitive shit.
I'm a disagree with you. I think people who do evil things aren't necessarily evil. I think sometimes they're hurt. I think sometimes they are in a really bad place. I think sometimes these are folks that, and it's almost ironic too, because I do believe that people should be punished for the things that they do and they should suffer those consequences, but I don't think they're irredeemable. Labeling someone evil, I think, is a way for us to look at something and then simplify it. But the reality is that things are complex. People are complex, and the reason why they get to that place is very difficult. There's plenty of people who were white supremacists or part of horrible gangs and came back from it. There's how many people went to gangs and later on went to be the kind of people who keep kids out of gangs? Horrible things and came back from it. Same thing on the left side.
They better get back from it before it's too late. That's all I'm saying, because I ain't got time to care about why they are that they are.
Now, just before we keep going with this, I should also be accountable in the way that I engage in discourse, because plenty of times where I have probably written people off out of frustration because you just see a lot of shit every day. We all have those feelings. The important part is that when we're talked back from that ledge, we don't stay there. Because the moment you start looking at people and looking at large swaths of people and saying they need to lose their freedoms, they need to do this. Listen, y'all can think it's despicable. I agree it's just despicable. I agree there's a lot of bad things, but it doesn't mean that these people should lose their freedoms. Because then we go into a place now where you are now criminalizing things that aren't criminal. They might be abhorrent. They might be views you don't agree with, but part of living in a free society means that the views that you have, you're allowed to hold them and still be free. Now, we might not employ you, we might cancel you, but this idea that we're going to bring violence, that we're going to bring police officers, we're going to put you in jail because we don't like what you stand for, understand how that can be used for persecution.
Abba is disingenuous as shit, bro. What the fuck, dog? This is crazy, man. I don't know. I can't. It's like, were we having the same conversation, bro? You know what I mean? My whole point in that conversation was there's no talking to them. That's all I said. There's no talking to them. You know what I mean? And he's trying to take this moral high ground saying that, you know, I'm saying that people should not be allowed to say what they say, right? Depending upon what you say and what is done from what you're saying you're gonna do, right? You deserve to get your freedom taken. You know what I mean? Or you say the wrong thing to somebody can hold you accountable. You know what I mean? You say talking shit, you're gonna have to back up that shit you talking at some point. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, bro, the whole point. Do I need to bring up timestamps for that? I thought it's just eye-opening. It's eye-opening to me, bro. The fact that he's taking things entirely out of context, trying to present a narrative when you can go see the conversation for yourself. I mean, if you want to cherry pick in different points of the conversation to manufacture a narrative, bro, that's the whole problem we had with Charlie Kirk, bro. You picking and choosing what you want to focus on and taking all the context out of it, bro. I label all these motherfuckers as evil, and there's nothing you can do with these evil motherfuckers, bro. You know what I mean? At one point, he said, well, if it's possible for these people's minds to be changed at some point, due with, you know, time, patience, or whatnot, are they truly evil? All right, yeah. But that, you know what I'm saying? He's being contrarian at that point. That wasn't the point. The point is we got some evil, sadistic motherfuckers at this point right now who don't deserve any of my time and a lot of others' time by the energy, by the things, by the demonic, evil things that they're spewing online, that they're spewing in public. You know what I mean? To me personally, in regards to someone's life being taken, bro, it's like there's no talking to some people. There may be some talking if you know what I'm saying, a nun that can sit there and waste your time talking to a wall at some point. But these fools have to go on their own fucking journey. I dropped a whole video about it, bro. Like, some people you just can't talk to. Let them die on that sword, bro. All this kumbaya shit, it's not reality, dog. That's why wars take place. You know what I mean? That's why countries don't like each other. That's why people don't like each other, bro. Differences in opinion. And if you say the wrong shit, you do the wrong thing, there's consequences, repercussions for it. All this, bruh, I don't know. I ain't got time, dog. I'm going to go for a little bit more, bruh, but taking me out of context is diabolical.
Someday. You might be a religious person. What if the country becomes much more liberal or much more atheist? You might be the person who they come for one day and call evil. This is definitely a time where you want to tone that kind of stuff down. Now, I know it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here on my soapbox and pretend I'm perfect. I've done it myself. But this is the emotional side of things. You know, when we talk about people being emotional, this is called being emotional. You might feel justified, you might feel righteous, but the moment you just say, everybody who did this is just evil, then what that happens is that going after these people becomes justice. If you hurt them, it's not bad because it's justice. You smited evil.
All right,
that's all we got to do.
Yeah, Abba ain't shit. He ain't shit, bro. I got to pull up another snip. Something I just posted, bro. I told the fool in the middle of the conversation, dog, you trying to put words on me. Say, you being emotional. You think it with your whatever. Nah, dog. I said it's logical for me to cut these people off because it would be a waste of time communicating with these people. That's why I don't fuck with them. Don't shit surprise me about the fucking world. And I was extremely surprised to see that amount of fucking. There's nothing I can categorize, label it as outside of fucking evil. Or people that I didn't fucking expect. Even people that I know personally, bro, that I didn't even think have that type of shit in them is out here celebrating a man's death that way.
But that's my point. I get how you feel. I get the whole, you know, like the sensation of like, you know, this world is a dark place and like we can't even negotiate.
I'm not even going to say the world's a dark place. I'm just saying that part of the world.
But you said you got no hope.
I'm saying there's no hope for these motherfuckers. You may give them hope. I'm not. They could burn.
You can't approach the world's problem from a hyper emotional place. And that's what you're doing right now. You're letting the passion and the emotion of the moment govern how you're viewing the world. Yes, you are.
You misquoting me, bro. There is emotion tied to it, bro. I'm a human being. I'm not a fucking machine. But I told you, the reason why I feel comfortable having this perspective on it is because logically, I know that there's no way to talk these people out of it. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of effort for what?
What's this logic? There's logic that you can't talk people out of extremism.
There's no talking to any of these. extremists, these evil motherfuckers out of their frame of mind until they take their own journey to do it. And I'm not gonna sit here wasting my time trying to take them out when they not ready to have that conversation.
If you're not willing or you're not interested in that discussion, that's fine. But saying that there's no way to talk people out of forms of
There is a
extremism-
way. There's a way. I'm just saying I'm not signing up for it. You can. I'm not. Right. I feel good about it because I don't fuck with them. Right. But why would I waste my time talking to someone that there's no point in talking to? It's a logical thing to do. I'm done with this, dog. I'm sitting here wasting my time. I'm repeating myself, bro. It's like all taken out of context, and he's cherry picking. He's doing the same thing social media does, cherry picking certain things to bring attention to address a fucking point that had nothing to do with the conversation at the end of the day. You know what I mean? The conversation, the debate was about how he minimized Kirk's death and him manufacturing a narrative. Those are my issues, bro. And then he's cherry picking different things to, I guess, have this moral high ground, trying to be on some, Gandhi shit. We can all live in peace together. Nah, bro. Nah, dog. But whatever. Whatever, dog. This shit is fucking. This is whack. You know what I mean? This is whack, and it's whack because it's unexpected from I don't know Apple. You know what I mean? But, now I'm having a, real shit to base my opinion on him off of, bro. And this is very disingenuous. He's manufacturing a narrative again. He's taking me out of context, and he's cherry picking things to address in this video that were pretty much irrelevant in our conversation, bro. I mean, I hit bro up on Instagram, dog, so I don't want to do this online. I mean, ain't no beef here. Ain't none of that shit. Ain't that fucking serious, dog. But I'm definitely surprised by this, dog. So y'all do with that or y'all will, bro. But you know what I'm saying? I appreciate the attention, dog. I appreciate the views or whatnot. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying? All publicity is good publicity, bro. But, it's giving fake, bro.